Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and
Hello everyone, a very warm welcome back to all of you in one more impactful session of Learning and Development webinar. My name is Pratibha and I'll be your moderator today. So if at any point you have any question or if you would like to connect with GSDC, please feel free to use the chat box. So I hope you're all ready for today's session. I hope you're all ready for today's session. Let me just share my screen. Please allow me a minute. Meanwhile, please do let us know from where you guys are watching. We would be happy to know that. So I hope you're all able to see my screen. So on behalf of the Global Skill Development Council, I'm truly delighted to welcome you all into the GSDC Certified Learning and Development Lab, building future-ready skills, strong leaders, and business impact. Innovating learning to develop skills, leaders, and measurable results. One of the things which make this webinar so interesting is the amazing expert panel we have lined up for you, who are going to deliver an incredible and impactful session. Before starting the session, let me give you a quick introduction who we are. Global Skill Development Council is a globally recognized certification body. We are accredited by ABICB. Till yet, we have a 250,000 professionals certified with us. We are partnered with 500 plus subject matter experts, 1,000 plus multinational companies, 100 plus training providers, and 50 plus universities worldwide. So these are the training partners who are associated with us from the Asia, Africa, Canada, Australia, Nigeria, Singapore, and many other regions. So special thanks to all training partners to be associating with us. And a very special thank you to our media partner, WordPress Hub, for covering all of our press releases and event releases. So before starting the session, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that we have launched a unique platform called GSDC AI Studio, Lifelong Learning Initiative. In the GSDC AI Studio, you're going to get 100 plus live monthly sessions with global experts, including 4 daily sessions, 45-minute live expert each session for hands-on learning. Sessions from global experts. Now you can learn directly from our AI leaders around the world. Real-time practice. You can apply concept immediately and get your question answered. Certification ready. You will be getting the training aligned with industry standard for job-ready skills. So currently we are covering 100 plus certification in our portfolio, including learning and development, HR, Gen AI, agentic AI, emerging technologies, ISO lead auditor and implementer, project management and PMO, agile DevOps and SRE, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and many more. But once you get certified with GSDC, you just don't walk away with certification. You also become a part of our community, which comes with GSDC membership benefit, including lifelong membership, certification upgrade, workshop, boot camps, learning club access, also the full benefit of GSDC AI Studio, and many more. With that, it's time to welcome our today's speaker. Today we have Treasure with us. Treasure is a 7 and 8 figure sales growth expert helping revenue driven entrepreneurs and executive close bigger deals faster and more efficiently. Recognized among Africa's top 100 coaches in 2024 by Gaby Media Africa alongside industry giants, he is a trusted authority in sales strategies, funnel design, and scalable business growth system. He has trained C-suite leaders and sales team for top organizations including the Central Bank of Nigeria, USAID, Axis Bank, Sterling Banks, AXA Mansard, Union Bank, FHI 360, and 100 of MSMEs. As the founder of Tumco Media, Treasure also helped brands tell better stories and build profitable communication. With over 1,000 speaking engagement across 7 countries, he is a sought after keynote speaker on sales, marketing, leadership, communication, and kingdom economics. And today he is going to present the session on transformational leadership, how to inspire, motivate, and engage employees for maximum impact. But before handing over the virtual mic, just a quick reminder. If you have any query with Treasure, if you would like to connect for any question, otherwise, if you want to know more regarding the GSDC initiative, please feel free to use the chat box. Once again, don't be shy. Drop your reactions, emojis, and quick comment into the chat. That's how we know you're with us, actively listening and absorbing from the insightful session. We also have an announcement to make at the end of today's session, which is a $400 worth gift certification voucher. So hang tight till today's end of the session. With that, it's time to welcome Treasure on our platform. Thank you so much, Treasure, coming on our platform. We are very honored to have you as our speaker today. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here on the GSDC platform. Please confirm that you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me clearly, I want you to type 111 in the chat box. When I teach, I like to communicate with my audience, and the only way I can do that virtually is to get you typing. So if you can hear me, type 111. Thank you, Yilawe. Thank you, Suraj. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Anthony. Prosper, I see you. Nasiba, I see you. Farah, I see you. Oh, beautiful. Great. Good to know that you can all hear me. All right. Secondly, I want you to take a moment to type where you are joining from. What location are you joining from? Let's connect. What country of the world are you joining from? I'm joining from Nigeria. India, Ravi is joining us from India. Beautiful. Oh, Benga, Nigeria, I see you. New Delhi. Somalia, India, Lagos, oh, beautiful. Mozambique, Uganda, Kenya, Lesotho, Afghanistan, beautiful. It's good to know that somebody from Afghanistan is here. Yes, what other country? Ghana, Akwa, good. Uganda, Abia in Nigeria. Oh, so welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lagos, Nigeria, I see you. Malawi, I see you. Beautiful. All right. Obviously, we're going to have a great time today. So I want to thank once again the leadership of the GSDC for inviting me. It's an honor. I like what you're doing. I see what the platform is doing. Very incredible work. So I want to say special kudos to the entire team that is powering this great vision. And it's also a great honor to have become a part of this vision. All right. So because of the brevity of time, we will go straight into today's presentation. At some point, I may turn off my video and bring my video on intermittently, just monitoring the strength of my network. Right here in my location in Nigeria, we have just experienced the first major rainfall for the year. We've been praying for it and it's finally here. So the internet connectivity may maybe be affected just a little bit by the weather, but I have backup here. So just to manage all of that, I may turn off my video at some point if I notice a freeze. Then if at any time you can't hear me, I would please request that the admin will call my attention to it. All right, so permit me to share my screen, then we shall set the sail. All right. If you can see my screen, I want you to type 222 in the comments. Let me be sure that everybody can see my screen. If you can see my screen, 222. Thank you, Sunday and Niton. Thank you, Benga. Thank you, Masiba Ravi from New Delhi. Thank you. Thank you, Yunis from Somalia. Asked to speak on transformational leadership. Transformational leadership. How to inspire, motivate, and engage employees for maximum impact. Transformational leadership. All right. So welcome once again, everybody. It's good to have every one of you here. I've been rightly introduced. My name is Treasure Kalu. I live in Nigeria, even though my work as a learning and development expert takes me around the nation of the world. Last year, at about this time, I was in China. I was a keynote speaker at a conference that held in China. I've been to the UAE, I've been to several countries in Africa as well, and we are still growing. Just like our moderator did mention, these are some of the organizations that I have trained within the last 16 years of being in the learning and development space. These are top organizations in Nigeria. They are way more than this. So these are just a couple of them. About 3 years ago, I was invited as a keynote speaker at a conference that held in Accra, Ghana. So my friend that joined us from Accra, Ghana, Akwaba, once again, I was at the UPSD Hall at Accra, Ghana. This was before an audience of about 3,000 or 3,500. I was a keynote speaker at this conference. So that is really about me in a nutshell. So let's get straight into transformational leadership. Transformational leadership. I want to start by saying that everything rises and falls. Sarah Lone, I see you. Welcome. Everything rises and falls on leadership. If we miss it in leadership in our organization or in our nation or in our families, then we have a serious crisis in our hand. I want to start by asking, and maybe I would permit one or two people to unmute their microphones and let me know. Think about the best boss you have ever worked with. Think, for those of you that have been working in the corporate space or wherever you've been working, but you've had to report to somebody. Think right now about the best boss that you have ever worked with. What made them different? I want you to answer me in the chat by one word. What made them different? For me, one of my most memorable was discipline. She was very disciplined, time conscious. So friendly. I want to see they enable you get the best out of you. Yes, Sahu. They lead by example and Nathan. They listen, beautiful. They build relationships. I love that. Thank you. All right. So when we talk about leadership, we cannot talk about leadership without considering management. All right. Leadership and management, they work hand in hand. We say everything rises and falls on leadership. Who is a leader? A leader is simply someone that gives the helicopter view to the scheme of things. So the leader of a nation gives an helicopter view of where the nation is headed. The leader of an organization gives a helicopter view to where an organization is headed. So, for example, a leader comes and says, we are going into the forest, and this is what and what we are going to get out of the forest. A manager, on the other hand, is the one that will show the rest of the team the how to get into the forest. A leader does not necessarily concern himself with the technicalities of how to get into the forest. He sees from the helicopter view that the organization or the nation or the family needs to get into the forest. It is the work of the manager to devise the way to get into the forest. So whilst managers manage work, transformational leaders inspire people to exceed their own expectations. Take note of that. So the job of a leader fundamentally is inspiration. When you work under a transformational leader, he helps you realize that you can rise beyond the ceiling. You can exceed the expectations that you have placed even over yourself. You can become whatever you have dreamt to become. That is the job of a transformational leader. So let's look at how leaders move employees from compliance to commitment. It is easy to just get people into the realm of compliance. I mean, you give them the KPIs, you give them the policy book, you give them all of those rules and regulations. That is compliance, okay? That is, in a sense, forced discipline. But now, how do you get people, how do you get employees to move from compliance to commitment? Let's see how transformational leaders do this. So this brings us to the difference between management and leadership. I need to say that many organizations have managers, but few leaders. The world as it stands today does not have a management crisis. We have a leadership crisis. And unfortunately, we even have in organizations, some organizations have not been able to truly distinguish the difference between leadership and management. So we even have corporate wars and clashes between people who are leaders and those who are managers. So while we have many managers in organizations, we have few leaders. What's the job of a manager? What are the areas that a manager focuses on? First, a manager focuses on tasks, technicalities, KPIs, deadlines, processes, deadlines, control. These are the jobs, the job descriptions, the areas of focus of a manager. But a leader, on the other hand, focuses on the people. He focuses on the vision, where the organization is headed in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, in the next 50 years. Think of transgenerational organizations like the Ford organization. Think of Apple Incorporated. Think of Coca-Cola. These are organizations that had transformational leadership. Think of Domino's, think of KFC. Think of Starbucks and several of these transformational organizations that we know in the nations of the world today. The leaders in them did not focus on technicalities. They focused on the people, they focused on the vision, they focused on growth. They focused on influence. How influential can the organization become? When Microsoft started several years ago by Bill Gates, he had one vision. He said his vision was simply to have a desktop computer on every desk in every home. Every home. That's vision. That's influence. When you think of nations today, industrialized nations like China today, there is hardly any household on the face of the earth that does not have at least one product from China. That is what we mean by transformational leadership. So this distinguishes between leadership and management. So managers create workers, leaders create owners. Please take note of this. I like this. Whilst managers create workers, employees, people who are there just for job descriptions, people who are there just to meet the KPIs, people who are there just to earn a living, who are there just to get a salary, leaders create owners. In essence, leaders transform employees to become stakeholders in an organization. If you are a leader here, if you are an organizational leader, until you have transformed your employees, your workers, to that stage where they see themselves as owners, where they see themselves as stakeholders in your organization, you still have a very long way to go. Ownership is where extraordinary performance lives. When people have a sense of ownership, they go the extra mile. If you can transform your workers, your employees, to stop seeing themselves as employees and to start seeing themselves as co-owners, part owners, stakeholders in your organization, they will go the extra mile for you and for the organization. If it's making sense so far, I want you to type 111 in the comments. Let me be sure that we're still here together. Type 111 in the comment. 46 of us, 47 of us. Yes, I can see all of you. Thank you, Benga. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you. Thank you, Eunice. Thank you, Apollo. Thank you. Thank you. All right. You're following. So let's get back to it. All right. Glad that we are all following. So I want to share at this moment 4 pillars of transformational leadership. 4 pillars of transformational leadership. If you can take note of what I'm about to share right now, and if you can implement them in your organization, I dare to say that you will see drastic improvement. You will see a drastic change in your organization. So what are these 4 pillars of transformational leadership? Number 1, transformational leadership has a vision that inspires. A vision that inspires. Without a vision, there's no leadership. All right. Number 2, transformational leadership leads by example. And when I asked you guys to tell me some of the qualities that stood out for the best bosses that you have worked with, somebody mentioned leadership by example. Number 3, individualized attention. Individualized attention. Number 4, intellectual stimulation. So we are going to take each of these points one by one and expand on them. The 4 pillars of transformational leadership. So let's start with the first one, a vision that inspires. I need you to understand that people are not motivated by salary alone. People are motivated by purpose. If you can give people a sense of purpose in an organization, even when there are down times, even when there are seasons where salaries are not able to be paid, like we had during the COVID lockdown amongst several organizations and nations or across the nations of the world, there were still people that were still ready to stick to their organizations. Why? Because purpose is greater than remuneration. Somebody write it in the comment. Purpose trumps remuneration. That is, purpose is greater than salary. Write it in the comment if you got that. So employees will perform better when they understand certain things. You need to get your employees to internalize the vision of your organization. You need to get everybody in the organization to internalize it and begin to live the vision of the organization. And how you do that is to get them to understand why the work matters. Why does the organization exist? Who are we impacting? It's beyond revenue. It's beyond, oh, we want to make money. No, we are here as an organization to shift the culture. We are here to impact the society. Can you imagine what our world would have become if there were no Facebook? Can you imagine if there were no Zoom? Imagine how we have connected across the nations of the world. At least 10 different nations are in this Zoom session right now. Imagine if there were no Zoom. That is what we are talking about. It's about purpose. Imagine if there were no Facebook. Imagine if there were no Alibaba, if there were no Amazon. Imagine if there were no Microsoft, if there were no Apple, if there were no Coca-Cola. That is the vision that inspires. So when people walk into our organizations, we need to let them realize that they are not just here to earn a living. They are not just here to earn salary so that they can take care of their bills. They are here to be part of a greater purpose. They are here to impact the world. And you should let them know what success looks like. What is success for the organization? If you can drive this vision, then you are on your way to transformational leadership, because this is the first pillar of transformational leadership. So instead of saying something like, we must increase our sales revenue, say, by 30% this quarter, that is more or less the language of a manager. And that is okay for a manager. But for a leader, your vocabulary should instead be, our goal is to help 10,000 customers solve real problems with our products this quarter. Look at the difference. One is revenue driven. The other is vision driven. It's impact driven. The good news is you cannot create impact. You cannot be vision driven without revenue following as an effect. Revenue follows impacts. Revenue follows vision. I hope this is making a lot of sense. So that is the vocabulary of leaders. And as a leader, you lead from the front. You lead by example. There is a popular quote by a renowned leadership expert, John C. He says that an army of sheep led by a lion will defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. I say that again. An army of sheep led by a lion will defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. Why? Because everything, I mean every single thing, rises and falls on leadership. And leaders, they lead by example, not just by instruction, but by example. And as a leader, you must learn to lead from the front. So moving on, we've seen the first pillar of transformational leadership. If you are still here, I want you to type 222 in the comments. 222 in the comments. If you are still here, 222 in the comments. Great. Ravi, thank you. Kasam, Apollo, Nasiba, Barbara. All right, you're still here. All right. So the second pillar of transformational leadership is that they lead by examples. Employees, listen to this. Employees don't follow titles, they follow behavior. As a leader, forget that you are the CEO, you are the CMO, you are the CTO, whatever C that you carry in your title. What moves employee is not the title. A very renowned leader here, a very religious leader here in Nigeria, by the name of Bishop David Oyedepo, he says that there is no entitlement in titles. So that's why you see that leaders that move the world, leaders that shake the world, you don't really need to even call their titles for people to recognize them, for their name to cause an effect in a room. When you say Mahatma Gandhi, you don't need to put any title, you don't need to put any prefix or even suffix. When you say Bill Gates, when you say Colonel Sanders, no. So employees, they follow behavior, not titles. So if a leader demands discipline, excellence, and accountability, but does not demonstrate any of these, employees will disengage. You cannot demand what you don't give. If you want discipline, you must lead by example. If you want excellence, you must typify excellence in everything that you do. If you demand accountability, you must be the most accountable person in an organization. So that is the second pillar of transformational leadership. I also need to say that culture is not created by policy. You know, we talk about policies, KPI, the policy book. When people are employed in organizations, we give them the staff handbook that contains the policies, the rules, the regulations, and everything. But let me say this, that real culture that is sustainable in an organization is not created by policy. It is created by leadership behavior that is repeated, not once in a while, not occasionally, but repeated on a daily basis. A leader will naturally replicate who he is. Recently, I went to train a certain organization here in Nigeria, and from the moment I walked into the organization before my session started, I observed the staff members. I wasn't particularly impressed by how they were dressing. I was not impressed by how they were looking. And then I was there like an hour to the time of training that was given to me in the brief. And 30 minutes later, they were not ready. It happened the second day of the training, and then I just drew my conclusion. If it is happening amongst the team members, then there's a leadership flaw somewhere. This thing is not trickling down from the leadership. So culture is created by leadership behavior. I want us to take note of that. All right, so let's move quickly to the third pillar of transformational leadership. The third pillar is individualized attention. Individualized attention. If you are a parent here, I'm a father of 2 children, a daughter of 7 and a son of 6. The way I relate with my daughter is not the way I relate with my son. Their temperaments are totally different. And when it comes to the organization, this is the approach that we should also take. Transformational leaders, they take time to study their team members. They take time to carry out a SWOT analysis on their team members so that they can accurately know their strengths and their weaknesses. And then they understand that the way you relate with staff A is not exactly how you relate with staff B. So it's a major mistake that leaders make when they assume that all employees are motivated by the same thing. Some employees are not necessarily motivated by an increase in salary. Some prefer to be recognized. Some prefer to have a sense of more responsibility. Some prefer flexibility. Why some are motivated by growth. They like it when there is a clearly defined pathway for career growth in an organization. There are employees that will work for a very small salary, that don't even mind taking a pay cut as long as they can see clearly that there is a pathway for career growth in an organization. So as a transformational leader, you need to find out what motivates each member of your team. It's very important. Transformational leaders understand people individually. So they ask questions like, when you are interacting with your team members, you ask questions like, what are your career goals? What skills do you need to develop? How can I support your growth? You need to ask these questions because when employees feel seen and heard, their engagement rises dramatically. Very important. Everybody in our organization needs to feel seen. Number one, they need to feel heard. They need to feel important in the organization. Number 4 pillar, transformational leaders. Intellectual stimulation. Great leaders, they stimulate you intellectually. They get you to think. And look at what I wrote in my slide. Great leaders encourage people to think, not to obey instructions. If you're always giving instructions, if you're always reminding your team of the rules, of the KPIs, there is a leadership gap somewhere. Because as a great leader, what you do basically is to get people to think on their feet. That is the difference between human beings and robots. That's the difference. A robot, an AI, is programmed to think, to act, and to give you output based on how it has been programmed. But a human being with emotional intelligence can think outside of the box. So don't raise employees that are tilted toward just obeying instructions. Raise people who can think with you. As a leader, if you are the only one thinking in the organization, you are not raising leaders. You are raising robots. You are raising at best employees that will always depend on you to give them job descriptions. Where the world is going right now it has become a space where you don't need a job description. You just come to an organization and you tell them exactly what you can do for them. So in getting your employees to be stimulated intellectually, you need to ask them questions like, what do you think? Don't be the only one thinking. Call them, call your supervisors, call even the smallest, the youngest person in the leadership hierarchy. Get them to think. Tell them, I need a solution from you. Submit your solution to this problem that we are dealing with. Give me a written solution. Send it to my email not later than Monday next week. Begin to train your team members to think. Ask questions like, how can we improve this process? It will shock you. If you allow this level of intellectual stimulation to happen in your team, it will shock you to realize that you have very intelligent people in your team. And I need to say that as a leader, you don't necessarily have to be the most intelligent in the team. You don't necessarily have to be the person with the best idea in the team. A transformational leader is not one that is the most intelligent in the room, but he's the one that has the capacity to galvanize, to bring together, to assemble the best thinking minds in the room. It takes a lot of leadership quality to lead people that are very intellectually sound. What better solution exists? These are the kind of questions, and of course, you can create more and more questions that you can use in your meetings, in your staff meeting, in your strategy sessions, if you have that in your organization. Questions are doorways to answers. A certain mentor of mine once said that you are broke, you are stuck because of the questions that you refuse to ask. Somebody is asking, can we get the slides? If the host permits, I think I can be gracious enough to just share that. That's okay. When employees feel safe to share their ideas, listen, these are the things that happen. Innovation increases. There are some organizations that people have very smart ideas, but they don't have leaders that are receptive to ideas. Some leaders, they just want it that it's all the ideas are coming from them. They want to take credit for every idea that is coming to the organization. So when employees feel safe, when employees feel safe to share their ideas, innovation increases. Very powerful. Innovation increases. Ownership increases. Performance increases. Can you imagine having an organization where there's an increase, consistent increase in innovation, a sense of ownership, a sense of performance? I mean, your KPIs will just naturally be met. So transformational leaders, they build thinking organizations. Thinking organizations, men and women who are able to think. This is the last part of my presentation, and it's going to take me maybe 5 minutes or less, then we can take questions. But let me be sure that we are still here. If you are following thus far, I want you to type, you know how we do it? 111 in the comments. 111 in the comments, because I'm about to go to the last session of my presentation. Let me see this. 111. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Kitai. Thank you, Prosper, Nasiba, Vigilant. What a name. Beautiful. Kasam, Ravi, oh, Benga, good. All right, we are still here. So let's quickly look at how leaders inspire their team daily, because the job of a leader is not a once in a while job, it's a daily job. And as a leader in the organization, you need to inspire your team daily. See, an inspired team is an unstoppable team. Somebody write that in the comments. If you got that, write it in the comments. An inspired team is an unstoppable team. If your team is thoroughly inspired, they will not come to work sluggishly on Monday whilst praying for Saturday or for Friday to come so soon. All right? So how do you inspire your team? Daily. So I'm going to share 4 ways. Thank you, Anthony, for writing that. I'm going to share 4 ways by which leaders inspire their teams daily. 4 ways. Number 1, they communicate a clear direction. Never leave your team to second guess. Communicate clearly, a clear direction every single day. You must re-emphasize where the organization is headed in the short term, in the mid-term, and in the long term. You see all of those vision statements that you have on your walls, vision statements, mission statements, core values. You need to communicate them clearly on a daily basis. That is number 1 ways by which leaders inspire their teams daily. In fact, you can create a routine where on a daily basis, every member of the team recites the vision of the organization. You get people to talk about the vision of the organization every day. You tell everybody, okay, this is the vision of the organization. I want you to internalize it, and you come and do a presentation before the team, how you think we can achieve this vision, this mission. Tell me, how can we internalize these core values? If excellence is one of our core values, how can we ensure that everybody from the highest to the least in the organization truly exemplifies a culture of excellence? That is number 1. Number 2, recognize efforts publicly. So leaders who inspire daily, they recognize efforts publicly. Don't issue queries, don't issue memos publicly, don't scold publicly, and then you recognize privately or you fail to recognize. Some people have erroneously believed that when you recognize, or when you acknowledge a team member for the good work that they are doing, that they will get proud and they will stop doing what they were doing. That is not exactly true. Everybody loves recognition. Recognition is a deeply rooted and seated emotion in human beings. And when you recognize members of your team, especially publicly, it fires them, it inspires them to do more. All right? So that is number 2. Number 3, leaders who inspire daily, they build psychological safety. And what do I mean by this? Some create a safe environment where ideas are free to fly, where somebody does not necessarily have to rehearse, have to think over and over before they come to you as a leader to share an idea or to share a concern. If people are scared of speaking to you as a leader in an organization, you are not a leader, you are a ruler. There's a difference between a leader and a ruler. A ruler rules by an iron hand, by the iron fist, but a leader inspires. So create a psychological safety net for members of your team. I mean, a member of your team can have an idea that can take your organization to the next level. But if you have created the impression that, oh, you are hard to approach, you are not open to ideas, you are fond of kicking out ideas that do not come from you directly, then what you are doing is you are building a psychological wall between you and your team members. There will not be free flow of information. So this is the third way transformational leaders inspire their teams on a daily basis. Last on the list is give a sense of ownership, not just instructions. Can you think about how you would treat an organization if it's your own company, that company where you are working right now? Imagine that it was your own company. How would you treat it? So when you give a sense of ownership to your employees, to your team members, and not just instructions, not just do this or do that, you inspire them to deliver more. So these are the 4 ways by which transformational leaders, they inspire on a daily basis. Masiba is saying, can you explain more clearly the second one again? Recognize efforts publicly. And what do I mean by that? If a team member has gone the extra mile to get something done, has gone the extra mile to maybe get the organization to achieve a worthy goal, call every member of the team and get every member of the team, for example, to give that team member or that particular team in the organization, say, a standing ovation, a well done. That is what I mean. Make the recognition of effort public, not private. Not you call the person privately to your office and you say, well done, you are doing well. No, you see the one that you do publicly, it creates more impact than the one you do privately, one-on-one. That is what I mean. So these are the 4 ways by which leaders inspire their team daily. In wrapping up, I need you to understand that leadership is not just about authority. It's not just about dishing out the rules. It's not about instructions. Leadership is about influence. You influence people. You inspire people. And ultimately, the job of a leader is to replicate himself, to raise other leaders, so that over time, people will now begin to act like you, so that you don't need to be physically present for things to be done. It is about influence, not about authority. So my question is, If you're a leader here, what exactly is stopping you? It's time to take your leadership game to the next level. I like to end all my training sessions with this quote, and it goes, until you jump out of the aircraft, the parachute won't inflate. I don't know if there is anybody here that has ever done skydiving. I narrowly missed doing skydiving the last time I was in Dubai, in the UAE. I don't know if there's anybody from Dubai right here with us, but it's an experience that I'm looking forward to having, just floating in the air. Now imagine getting on board the aircraft and you are taking, say, 20,000 feet above sea level or above ground level, or maybe 10,000 feet, whatever height you are taking to. And it's time for you to jump off the aircraft, and you allow fear to come in. You allow reluctance to come in, inertia to hold you back. You will never, ever have the bliss and the joy of skydiving. What that simply means is, until you take action on what you have just learned, it profits you nothing. All right. So thank you so much. That is my brief session. If it's a full-fledged session, I can go as much as 4 or 5 hours when I do, leadership trainings. But this is where I will stop. We will take questions if there are any. I believe our moderator is going to coordinate that. You can follow me on social media. My handle on Instagram, on Facebook is Inspiring TK. You can take a screenshot. That's my phone number, my WhatsApp number. If you want to connect with me personally, please, you are highly welcome. And then that's my website also. You can visit the website and see all of the stuff that I am about. Thank you so much, my amiable host. Thank you for also sharing in the comments. Thank you so much. So I think the floor is now open for questions. If there are any, we can take a few questions, and then that will be it for my session. But if you have gained value from this session, I want you to give me some emojis. Yes, I can see some hand clap. Give me some emojis. Let me be sure that I was able to get across to you. Thank you for the hand clap. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So I hand over the mic right now. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Trezor, for the amazing and impactful session. And we had a roller coaster learning journey today. So I'm sure our participants have learned a lot. So, participant, the slide I have shared into the chat as well. You can follow Treasure, and you can connect with him directly on the number as well and the website as well. The floor is officially open for question and answer. So if you have any question, please feel free to let me know. Like you can drop me into the chat box so that we can have a. And before that, George have a question from me. Are there certificate for attendance for this session? Yes, George, there are certificates for the attendees of this session, but the certificate is going to be provided after ending the series. As you all know that we are running a 2-week series. So after that series will end, you guys will get the certification for it. So the Treasure, we do have one question from Nasiba. Can you explain more clearly the second again? Nasiba, it would be great if you can clear a little bit more what second slide or second point, so that Rajan can answer that.
Okay. I answered that. I saw the question whilst I was still teaching, and I have already answered that. And I think she has acknowledged that it is clear.
Thank you so much for that. Actually, I didn't see the acknowledgements. I really apologize for that. So we have one question from the participant of LinkedIn. Employee engagement is a challenge for many organizations. So how can transformation leaders create a culture where employees feel genuinely connected to the organization's mission and goals, especially in a startup environment?
Okay. Well, if that person had followed clearly what I said in course of my presentation, I think that question has already been answered. So look at what I said here, 4 ways by which leaders inspire their team on a daily basis. So start by communicating the vision, all right? Communicate a clear direction. When people have a sense of purpose in an organization, they stick to that organization. So get that, make it clear this is where we are headed. Then secondly, give them a sense of ownership. Make them know that you are not just here as an employee. We don't see you here just as an employee. We see you as a part of this organization. Your thoughts are important. Your contributions are important. Yes, talk to us whenever you need to talk to us. Create a system where there is a free flow of information. Minimize bureaucracy. I think modern day organizations are cutting down on bureaucracy where information has to go through a very complex chain of command before it is attended to. All right. So I think those ideas can get you started on helping your team having a sense of ownership for the person that asked that question.
Thank you so much for the amazing answer.
You're welcome.
So we have one question from Onsanya. How can you handle a boss who is not a leader?
Okay, so how can you handle a boss who is not a leader? Well, if you are a subordinate, it's not really your job to do anything about it per se. Remember, there are leaders and there are managers. So it's possible that if your boss is not a leader, your boss is a manager. And one of the rules, one of the laws of power, when you relate with corporate power, I don't know if you've read the 48 laws of power. In fact, the first law in the 48 laws of power is never outshine your master, meaning never try to present yourself as somebody that knows more than your master. Even when you are taking an idea to your leader or to your team lead, don't do it like you are instructing them. Do it like you are making a suggestion. In fact, depending on the temperament of the person, help the person own the idea. Let it even look like the person's idea. Yeah. So if your boss is not a leader, just connect with your boss on his own level of leadership and let the overall leader of the organization handle that. And you must also know that leadership is a journey. We are all growing in our leadership journey. So the person that you don't feel is a leader today, if the person is given to personal development and self-improvement, just like what the GSDC platform is all about. Imagine somebody taking advantage of what this platform is all about. I think I need to talk a little bit about this platform. Please, for everybody that is here, I need to encourage you, take advantage of what this platform represents. This platform is taking you 10 steps into the future. There is nobody that takes advantage of all that this platform provides that will be behind time. So a leader that exposes himself, for example, you agree with me that everybody that has attended today's session on transformational leadership is better off for it. So allow your leader grow just as you also are growing. All right. Don't worry so much about the things that are beyond your control. Focus on the ones that you can control. And I think being the best version of yourself should be your goal ultimately. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the inspiring answer. So, the participant, we are running out of the time, so we'll take the last question. After that, I'll be sharing Treasure's LinkedIn ID as well. So you can connect with him directly for any kind of query and any kind of guidance. So we have one question from Vigilant. In aspiring employees, can't we add continuous learning as an inspiration?
Absolutely. Continuous learning, if you listen, I have even said that in course of my presentation, vigilance. Continuous learning, the job of a leader is to get his team members to learn continuously, and not just the team, everybody, including the leader, because the day you stop learning, you start dying, you start expiring, all right? And because we live in a VUCA, that is VUCA. Yeah, if you don't know what VUCA is, time will not permit me to begin to explain all of that. VUCA is an acronym. Go and check it out on the internet. Because we live in such a VUCA world, we need to be adaptable. We need to be given to continuous learning, or else will expire very, very quickly. Because the knowledge you are learning today, the knowledge, the certification you are getting today, just as you are getting it, something higher is coming up. You know, when AI became, generative AI, when it became mainstream in the last few couple of years, we felt like, oh, this is the best thing there is. But now we are even moving away from generative AI. We are moving to AI automation. All right. So that tells you how it goes. Continuous learning is the game. Yeah, thank you, Eniton, for putting that up. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much for the amazing answer, Treasure. So, as participant, I have said that we are running out of the time, so we'll be moving ahead. But I have shared Treasure's LinkedIn ID so that you can connect with him directly for any kind of query, any kind of guidance. And to answer once again regarding the certificate question which Nasiba has asked. So, as you all know, that we are running 2 week series in every 2 week for learning and development AI or ISO. So once the series is going to be ended, that means in every 2 week you will get an certification regarding the event you have joined with us. So you are going to get the certificate as ended. And with that, before moving forward, Treasure, would you like to give any final statement, please?
Well, final statement will be first and foremost to thank you for having me. Thank you so much for all the discourse. I hope to be back here whenever you need me, as our schedule will permit, at least to contribute to what this platform is doing. So well done, and I believe we'll have some private conversations. Then to the people that have joined us, thank you so much for joining. Every one of you that have joined from the nations of the world, I truly look forward to connecting with you. My details have been shared, social media handles. For those that are on WhatsApp contact, take a screenshot, and please, as a wrapping up, understand that there is a great need for leadership across the nations of the world and in organizations. And it is a challenge for every one of us here to rise to leadership. So that will be my parting words. Until you jump out of the aircraft, the parachute won't inflate. Thank you once again, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much once again for the amazing insight that gives our participant to think something and take this from session and upgrade their skill. As many of you are asking me to send the last link into the chat, so I'm sharing once again the Treasure's LinkedIn ID. Please do connect with him for any kind of query and any kind of guidance. Moving ahead, not keeping our speaker and participant for a lot of time. So just allow me a minute to share my screen, and then we'll wrap up the session quickly. So, if you are ready to get certified in learning and development for any domain, certifications are available on our website. And We are also giving a complimentary coupon code to all of our participants, which will give you a 20% off. So if you want to get certified into the learning and development for any kind of domain, do check out our website. Opt for the certification. Use the coupon code link, which I have shared into the chat box, so that you will get a 20% off and get certified. So before wrapping up the session, I just wanted to make a quick announcement regarding the utility tool. So if you're on your job hunting journey, especially this tool is for you. Others participant can also have a look if you want to explore how to re-improvise your LinkedIn profile. Because what you can do, you can log in into utility tool by using your LinkedIn ID and password, and it will give you a recommendation according to the job designation you're targeting and the industry you're targeting, and it will re-improvise your LinkedIn profile. Because in today's AI era, HRs and recruiters are also using the LinkedIn AI tools to screen your resume, and that is also the reason that most candidates got rejected even after having skills and experience. So this tool can help you out into that problem. So we are also giving you all of our participants a complimentary coupon code, which will give you 100% off for using this tool to making your job hunting journey a little bit easier. So if you're on your job hunting journey, take the help of utility tool, stand out your resume in front of the HRs and recruiters, and also all the best to all of the job hunters out there. So as we today had an amazing and impactful session with Treasure, tomorrow we are going to have one more insightful session with Jamie. Jamie is a founder and CEO at People Avenue, and he's going to lead the session on leading organizational changes lesson from one of Australia's largest workforce transformation. It is a biggest case history from 24 to 25, and this will be a very impactful session. So I'm hoping to see you all I'm hoping to see you all tomorrow as well. It is going to be happen at 17th March 2026 at 10:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 11:30 p.m. Singapore time, 9 p.m. Indian time, and 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And if you're one of those people who wants to learn regarding the ISO, then this webinar is for you. This is going to be conducted from 16th to 20th March at 9:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 10:30 p.m. Singapore time, 8 p.m. Indian time, and 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And if you're one of those people who are enthusiastic regarding the AI, then this webinar is for you. And it is going to be conducted from 16th to 20th March at 8:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 9:30 p.m. Singapore time, 7 p.m. Indian time, and 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Registrations are open. You can check out our website for any of the webinar. So before wrapping up the session, it's time to celebrate our referral champions. We have Bhanu Durgesh, Olubaga, and B. Venkatesh. So special thanks to all three of you for helping us amplify our initiative and reach it to the wider global audience. You can also become one of our knowledge professional and advisors. What you have to do, if any of your peers, colleagues, and professional wants to join for this webinar or any other webinar, you can refer the registration link which you will find on our website. What's in it for you? So you will get a referral point for every reference. And once you hit a 50 referral point, you will be able to get a free $400 What Gift certification voucher. But all of the offers are applicable for a very limited time of period. So make sure you're taking the advantage of this offer and become one of our knowledge professional and advisors. We would love to have you in our community. Also, if you would love to be our speaker for learning capsules, webinar, and podcast, you can reach out to us at pratibha@gsdccouncil.org and preetham@gsdccouncil.org. I have shared the email ID into the chat box so that you don't miss out. To connect with us, we would love to have you on our platform. And these are the vertical, like these are the business module what we deal with. So we have a B2C direct to professional, retail individual certification module, channels reseller models, authorized training partners module, academic institutional partnership, accredited university academic partnership module, B2B direct to organizations enterprise partnership module. So if you would like to be partner for any of the module, any of the vertical, you can connect on the spokesperson email ID which has given onto the slide. I have already shared the vertical slide into the chat box so that you don't miss out. If you need it again, please do drop a text, I'll reshare it. And these are the platform where you guys can connect with us: our LinkedIn profile, our WhatsApp group, our Instagram channel, our YouTube channel, our Twitter channel, as well as our Pinterest channel. Also, we would love to hear your session key takeaways and learning outcomes. We would love to know what most resonated with you. We would love to know the sessions we are conducting for you. What are your thoughts on it, and what is helping you the most to upskill your journey? So I have shared all of the platforms in ID into the chat box, as well as reviews.io ID too. So do connect with all of the platform for staying updated regarding our upcoming events and trends. Also, do share your feedbacks on reviews.io. With that, it's time to come to an end. Thank you so much once again, Treasure, for coming on our platform. Very honored to have you as our speaker today. Looking forward to having in the future session as well. Thank you so much to all of
Thank
the
you so
participants.
much.
Thank you so much to all of the participants to joining on to our learning journey. I'm hoping to see you all tomorrow as well. Till then, keep learning, keep energizing. Have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are.